All right, let's start this bad boy. What's up, and welcome to the Los Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Eslam, aka Rock God Son, accompanied by Dan, Papa Son Killer, and Dan Emperor Disco. How's it going, fellas?
I love you, Eslam.
I was not ready for that. They used the Crocodile Dundee of the fucking Easter.
Oh man.
Oh man, I'm
So-
coming at
Oh,
you
man.
from the island of Ramadan, bro. We just got these new hats. It's wilding out here, bro. It's like the Wild Wild West.
Why do I feel like
What
why
a
do I
Bowie
feel
night.
like the little dinosaurs from Jurassic World Part 2 were on the island and you were fighting them? Oh man.
I got this bad boy in Spain.
Jurassic Park, I'm sorry. Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it real.
I got this bad boy in Spain.
There you go.
I was just like,
I'm
fuck
not
it,
gonna
why
lie.
not?
With nice like tailored clothes, you could pull that off. You
Yeah.
could really impress Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that's the goal, bro. That's the goal.
You know what you
Get
got
that
me
dinner with
thinking?
Henry Cavill.
You know what you got me thinking? The Halloween costume that you had thought about doing.
Yeah.
If you could somehow pull that off
Yeah.
the same way you pulled off the hat just now, that would be incredible.
I'd have to put like a
Yeah.
a ball cap on top of it.
Yeah.
And then just rip it off. and-
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. You just come in and just have hair.
Oh man,
Oh,
good
God.
shit.
That'd be
All
beautiful.
right. Well, today we are reviewing Avatar the Last Airbender, the live action from Netflix. And I can speak for Dan and myself. We have been ever since not ever since Avatar came out, but ever since Avatar came out, I've been a huge fan. I watched it every single week when it came out on Nickelodeon, all the seasons. Dan got into it later and loved it.
When it was
Watched
first
Cor-
ever on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's when I got it.
And then watched Korra when it was coming out as well. And remember Rusty and I used to watch those episodes online while we were after class when they came out, like on like Thursdays or some shit like that. But man, one of the best like universes ever created, animated shows, is just, it's been phenomenal. And a horrible movie was made out of it.
Mhm.
And we were just talking about that earlier, and it was just, oh man, it did not do it justice.
It's a crime.
It was a crime against Avatar the Last Airbender. And then many years later, Netflix was like, I think we can give it a shot. And they gave it their best shot. And my initial thoughts about Avatar the Last Airbender live action was, it was okay. It was pretty good. Like, it was not bad. It's not what I expected. I can definitely see why the original creators left the project from Netflix at some point, from the decisions they decided to make. There were some decisions that I did not like at all while watching the show. And other decisions they did pretty well. Like, there's certain things that they did amazing. The bending graphics was like really good, I thought. But some of the story decisions that they made was not my cup of tea. And yeah, so I think it was decent. There was a lot of things I didn't like, and there was a lot of things I did like. So we'll get into like details a little bit later. But this guy, I want to hear from you. What did you think of the live action?
It was very okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the same things I didn't like about the animated series. Just it was consistent. I guess the main thing I don't like is just that Aang is so young, and that's my preference. I know like this, it works into the story because he was a young airbender and he's kind of scared, and then that's the reason why he runs away and gets like frozen, and so it kind of fits into the plot. But I don't know, I just don't like his young bubbly attitude. I guess I'm jaded. I like that like anti-hero type of character, and he's just not. He's not exactly that. But overall, I maybe saw the actual animated series once in my lifetime, back like when it first came out. So I really don't remember it. I know the plot premise and like pretty much the main things that happen, but I don't remember all the little ins and outs and all like every little episode. But overall, I thought it was pretty good, especially compared to a lot of the other like crossover live action boots. This was definitely one of the better ones, and I know a lot of people said that they were hating on the acting, but I thought it was okay. Nothing to write home about or anything, but overall, I think they did their thing. It definitely warrants more seasons, and I hope they keep the ball rolling.
Well, Netflix has officially renewed it for 2 more seasons, and that's it. So we will be getting all 3 books of the original series adapted into live action. So next book will be Book Earth, adding Toph as the earthbending teacher and one of the greatest earthbending masters. And then obviously Book 3, Fire, where the series comes to an end. So we're gonna get the live action conclusion. It's not just gonna end at this series, but I guess depending on how those go, will they actually attempt to do Korra or not? But that's still a ways off. We'll see how it goes from there. But Dan, your thoughts?
Yeah. So I saw the. I don't. I mean, I was gonna ask you guys more or less when you how long ago you watched it. I saw it like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Is when I finished it, something like that. So it's not fresh in my mind, but I'm honestly, it's pretty much what you guys were saying. Like on a scale of like I don't know, like 1 to 5, it's a 3. It's an okay. It's
yeah,
it's not. It had some good moments. It had some other stuff. It didn't hit as hard as the animated series for me. It's funny. I'm very much like Disco. I don't want to see no kids do nothing. Get these kids the fuck out of here. But Avatar is one of those exceptions for me,
yeah,
where it's like I'm cool with it. My biggest thing, I honestly, what it came down to for me, is because the animated series had heart. This
yeah.
didn't. This didn't have heart, in my opinion. It just didn't. It didn't feel like that. It felt like they tried and they put a good effort. They did what they could. It's just they didn't hit all the right marks.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I know. I
They
acting
changed
wasn't
some
the greatest. Yeah,
characteristics and
yeah. There's one in
yeah,
particular I know we're gonna get into for sure, but
100%.
yeah, there's but in terms of like the acting, I feel like yeah, it was lackluster. I mean, as far as like the main people in the show, I think Zuko stood out in terms of acting. He was the one person I was just like, I'm fine with Zuko. Like he wants it.
Yeah,
He wants the avatar. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like I feel that. Everybody else is kind of like, oh, okay, like it is what it
I'm
is.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm playing this role. I'm like, okay, cool. But like Zuko wanted that shit. Like I feel like acting wise, he was the one. And the CG, I'm not a CG stickler. That's the weird thing. I don't really give a shit about CG. Like, hey, if it's good, it's good. It's bad, it's bad. I actually the CG was annoying to me in this one, to be honest. It
Mm.
was getting to me a little bit. But it was what
I
it was. I
guess
got
it's
over it.
I guess it's still hard, but like I mean, comparing it to the the movie is just like
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole
it's
nother
so much
yeah.
far better than the
Yeah.
movie. But
That's
yeah,
I mean, that's like literally taking this Netflix show and comparing it to a pile of dog shit that's
yeah,
out in somebody's yard somewhere. So it's
yeah,
like literally like, no, this is a better version. It ain't a piece of dog shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into some details.
It's a nice closing statement. Well, at least it's not dog shit.
So one of the things they changed is Aang's personality.
Mm,
In the show, Aang is like this carefree kid who wants to go do these fun things. And in the live action, I felt like he was more realistic. Like he's like, I gotta do this thing, and like I need to concentrate on becoming the avatar and blah blah blah. And
like,
I'm
bro,
just
you're
like,
a kid. Like, be a kid.
yeah, like what happened to that? Like the reason why Aang was able to figure out how to, spoilers if you never watched the animated series. The reason why Aang figured out how to beat Ozai without killing him is because of his personality. He was able to connect spiritually and with his surroundings and almost call upon a fucking lion turtle, and it gave him the wisdom to do what he needed to do without
Yeah.
taking a life. but I don't see that character in this Aang version
Hmm.
that they're trying to show. Um, uh, and there's a bunch of other characters, and one there's like I guess three characters that I think they truly messed up. The second one would be Azula. For me, this Azula was not confident.
Hmm.
Like she was still like I don't know why they had her like needing her father's approval or like
Festus
Azula.
sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Azula was ruthless and cunning and smart and confident from day one. Like she
Yeah.
didn't need to build that up, even when she was a child. Like like 5 years old, she was that person.
Yeah.
Only at the end does she kind of like she breaks down mentally.
Yeah.
And I feel like they started that now, and I don't understand why. But that's another character that I feel like they destroyed. And the third was King Boomy.
Bro.
And
Bro.
what they did to King Boomy was
Oh my
an
god.
atrocity. And it's just like that whole story with King Boomy, Jet, and like they combined all these like events and they didn't. All right, and we're back. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're just gonna jump straight back into it. So
Yeah.
we were talking about Boomy and how they
Yeah.
fucking ruined that
They fucked
character.
up with Boomy. They
Yeah.
fucked up with Boomy. So yeah, it cut off before. Basically, I was gonna say is Boomy's the moral compass. He's
Yeah.
like Rafiki. I don't know if that went across or not. But yeah, man. So it's like the true Boomy is I'm gonna teach you a lesson. It's gonna be weird. We'll see how we go about doing it. Maybe you think Boomy works in mysterious ways,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
And this Boomy was just like, nah, man, like, hey, Aang, you're the Avatar. You abandoned us. You're the reason why we're in this.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, as I'm watching, I was like, how are they gonna turn that into a lesson?
Yeah.
How are they gonna make Booby seem cool after this? And
There was no
it was just,
Flopsy, there was no
oh
like
yeah, yeah. I didn't even think about
like there was
Flopsy.
no
Yeah,
other like
they put him in the rock
trials.
candy though.
Yeah, they did
I
do the
feel
rock
like he
candy.
was trying to provoke him into accepting, like, you're the Avatar, you have to step up. But it did feel like just weird, not in a good way. It's just like, kill me and become the Avatar, or like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just so weird.
Yeah. Because in the show, correct me if I'm wrong, Islam, it was kind of that. It was just like they went to Amashu and
Mhm.
then they get caught, and then Boomy's just like, hey, you're my prisoners. And it's like, you have to pass these trials in order to save your friends before they get
Yeah.
consumed by the rocks or whatever. And then each trial is like kind of a lesson. And then he's just like, hey, Aang, it's just like, I just wanted to show you, like, you had it in you. I know you're fine. It's me, Boomy. Yeah, I'm really fucking old,
Yeah.
but we're still
Well, the
friends.
thing
Yeah.
also what they did in the show is he revealed himself as Boomy before he even did the trials.
Yeah, it was just right off the bat. It was like, oh, you're Boomy. You have a weird laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, come on, man. Like you really gonna do this?
It ruined the
But
suspense.
it's getting too hot in this hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, shiny.
I know I need to release that heat, bro. Regulate my body heat through this bald head. But
Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde.
so yeah,
I'm looking
like
at Mercury right now.
nah, bro, this is Jupiter. Um, the Boomy just reveals himself right away. Like there was no awe to it, you know. It's like, oh my god, you're Boomy, but like you're my friend, so why are you doing this or
Yeah.
whatnot?
Are
And
you a dick?
yeah, why you being a dick? He also like what he was saying and like his personality was like I thought it was coming off a little too nefarious to me. And I was like, that's not really Boomy because even in the show, he's like, you're my prisoners, but put them in the nice cells.
Mm-hmm.
The newly refurbished ones, you know, like there was like those little things where he's like he's the Mad King, but he's not like evil. Here he was coming a little bit nefarious to me, and I don't know. I just didn't enjoy him that much. Like Boomy's like one of my favorite characters, and yeah, they did him wrong, man. Um, moving on. One of the other things, let's say one of the things I did enjoy. I did enjoy his visit to Kyoshi Island. And the change they did in Kyoshi Island, I did enjoy. Kyoshi taking over his body and fighting off the firebenders and stuff was really badass. It was very well done, I think, and like the action, the his conversation with Kyoshi, I did like all that. Oh, then Disco brought out his fucking gun too. Um, so I did really enjoy that. The the other favorite character of mine that I think they ruined was Avatar Roku. I'm like,
Mm,
the fuck happened with Avatar Roku? Like,
mm,
Avatar Roku was and is a big part of Aang's journey through the whole thing. And we saw like 3 minutes of him on screen. There was no like him. He's like, come to my temple in the solstice. There was no like his dragon didn't guide him. Like, and then they took the time when Roku took over Aang's body and showed himself to those priests in the fire temple and changed that with Kyoshi. Okay, that's fine, but I think they should have done that too, because like Avatar Roku was the last Avatar before Aang, and then they have a stronger connection, right? He needs to guide him through this, but they didn't do that.
yeah,
And Roku was kind of like a goofball, and I'm like, that's not Roku's personality. Roku's personality was never like goofballish.
yeah.
He was like serious, but it was like all in a mentoring way. And I just didn't like what they did with Roku. So
Yeah, man. It's Roku and Aang have a special relationship that Aang
they do,
doesn't have with any previous avatar.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, he's connected with Kyoshi. And Kyoshi's I mean, I still remember like if you go back to the animated series where Aang's trying to consult all the different
yeah. In the last season,
avatars, is like, how do I deal with Ozai? Like, I don't want to kill him. And Kyoshi is the one that's like, don't give a shit if you want to kill him or not. You have to.
yeah.
Like Kyoshi's just that hardcore. It's
And
like,
she kind of did that here,
yeah.
in this conversation, but it's like a little too early for that.
Yeah,
You know, it's
exactly. It was like, why are we talking about this now? Like
yeah,
that's something that happens later on, but it's still one of those things. But you're absolutely 100% correct there. Like Roku and Aang, they got that relationship, and Aang is, I mean, sorry, Roku is the guiding force for Aang.
yeah,
Like Aang does talk to the other avatars. Avatar, I always forget his name. Kuruk.
yeah. Which she had a big part in this one in the
What I was,
Northern
I
Water
always
Tribe,
wanted to see more of Kuruk. I
which was
always, yeah,
fine, but I'm just
yeah.
like, oh, don't even get me started about the Northern Water Tribe,
Mhm.
like a little story arc that they did. I was just like, the fuck.
Real quick though, how do you feel about Ko the Face Stealer?
Call of Duty Stealer, they did pretty well.
Yeah. I
What
always
I
like
did,
Ko.
what I didn't like is that why the fuck the owl showed up out of nowhere.
Yo, yes.
I was like, why is he here?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't there. Like his
In the
guidance,
middle of book 2 is when he shows up.
like his guidance wasn't
Yeah.
needed. Like it was Roku who told him about this stuff, and it was after he like cleansed Heibai, like the forest spirit,
Yep.
and Heibai was the one that guided him to Ko after Roku told him and all this stuff. And I'm just like, you guys changed too much, and it wasn't for the better. Like I
Yeah, it was
don't
like, what
mind
was the point of
change.
changing it? There was no
What was
point.
the point of him being there? What, so he can show up again in season 2 and be like, hey, remember we met in the spirit world? And like, I'm just like, I don't think they're even gonna do the library, because the whole point of the library was tied to the end of season 1,
Yeah.
because it was hinted that Admiral Zhao found the scroll of the physical forms of the water and moon spirit in that library.
Mhm.
So now we don't even have a connection to the library. So I don't even think they're going to do the library in
Which is
season
a
2.
shame because think of how impactful the library scene is.
Yeah.
Where it's just like one that's where they're just like, "Oh my god, Sozin's Comet.
Yeah.
It's fucking coming." You have that, you have the oh, Appa.
Yeah.
The Appa's the
Kidnapping. Yeah.
kidnap. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. The kidnapping of Appa like occurs there, and that's where you have Toph, who's like, in my opinion, the best bender there
Yeah.
is. Cannot bend because she's insane, and she's
Nadia's
trying her
favorite
hardest.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just badass, and she's
Yeah.
trying to do this, and all these people, and they're just kidnapping Appa, and then Aang has this whole thing. It's like, you let me down. You never gave a shit about Appa. It's just like
Yeah.
so much came from that thing, and you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. do they even need to go there at this point?
No, because there's no connection to the library. The way Jav found out about the moon spirits is from a priest in one of the temples, and
Yeah.
like he didn't even know. Like, I mean, Zhao is like he's a decent character. He's not one of the most important characters, so I don't care if they change some of his stuff. But
Yeah. But
you're
I mean,
changing,
he's the villain of book 1,
yeah,
I would
but
say.
like you're changing like major events that are going to happen in season two, right now in season one. So
Yeah.
like you got rid of the library. We already saw the owl, um, and I'm just like, why? And then like when he goes into the Northern Water Tribe, there's the knife that
Mm.
that Kuruk made, and he's like, "Oh, Aang, I can feel my knife. It's coming. Whatever. Blah blah blah." I'm just like, this doesn't
Like,
make
what's
a lot of
happening?
sense. Like, it's just we don't need this right now. Like, why are we combining storylines from book two into this, which eventually erases these storylines from book two, and it was just a hot mess. But visually, like the fight at the end with the Northern Water Tribe was on point, right? Like the once he killed the moon spirit, everything went dark, and when they did the fire bending, that's when you got the flashes of color, like it turned black and white. I always love that
That was really cool in the show. Yeah.
in the cartoon
Animated.
series,
Yeah.
and I think they did it justice here. They did it really well. And then when the water spirit took control over Aang and started destroying all the ships, all that looked fantastic in my
Mm.
opinion. I love that. It looked great, but the continuity of everything kind of got shifted. And like, honestly, like the first two or three episodes of Avatar, I was like, damn, bro, they're actually doing pretty well so far. And then came time with the Umashu nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when they lost me. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I can see why the original writers, the original creators left the project. And I was just like,
Yeah.
God damn.
See, with
And then
me,
it
yeah,
kept
go ahead.
going. I was just like, holy shit, they changed all this stuff, and I was like, that didn't need to change.
No, with me, it's
You
funny.
know it's bad when the original writers are just like, I don't want
Yeah,
nothing to do with that. Like,
yeah, they
Yeah.
just dip. But what's it called? Well, two things. You got me thinking of something else. But with me, Eslam, it's like from the beginning, I was like, I don't know. Just Aang just felt off. I'm gonna be real. I don't know if it's just the
100%.
actor. He felt off from the beginning, and
I think it was
like,
just his personality. I didn't mind
yeah,
the actor. He looked
yeah,
good
I think that's
as
what it was.
Aang.
I mean,
It's just
appearance was perfect. Yeah,
yeah.
but like you once said famously, I was watching it, but I was keeping a skeptical eye on
Yeah.
the series as I was watching it. I was just like, oh, there's something about this, and I kind of in the end, I just had it through the whole way. I was like, it really is a 3 out of 5. It's okay.
Yeah.
But one thing that they did that they added on. Now I don't know if this is true, but this is a big part of what I heard. What the reasoning behind Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko leaving the
Mhm.
project and forming Avatar Studios and all that was the introduction, the beginning,
Oh,
where it's like, hey, there's a lot of violence and stuff. And like, yes, it's a violent show, but it's not like this was extra. And I
yeah.
don't know if it's true, but I heard that was one of the major reasons.
Like the opening scene where the
The
earthbender
opening scene
takes
where it's just like the firebenders are taking them down and the earthbenders are like fighting and
I
you know
honestly didn't mind that. I thought it added
it
like
was
a
it was
nice little
okay.
it was
I
like
could
a
have done
nice
with or
little
without.
prequel 5 minutes to the
Yeah,
show of like them stealing plans. Oh, the Fire Nation's going to attack. Like
yeah,
it was kind of like Rogue One for
yes,
Avatar.
yes,
It's like, oh, how did this happen? Like, no, how did no one see this coming? And you know, it was fine. Did it need to be there? No, because it left a mystery for you to discover
yeah,
throughout the three books.
yeah,
And now that mystery is gone, but it's that
yeah,
could have been a flashback when Zuko was discovering who his grandfathers were, and you see, and then like the scene when they attack the Airbenders. I mean that was pretty badass. The Airbenders put up a good fight, and then like Sozin was fucking burning people alive.
yo, legit. That's the thing. Or it's just I feel like it was very I wouldn't say graphic, but it was very like violent compared to
Yeah,
the original thing. And I mean, I don't think that's the creator's original vision. That
No,
you
no,
know,
definitely not. Even in the show there was violence, but it was never
no,
burning anybody alive or,
yeah, like even I don't know if
They
this
made
is
that
spoilers.
flame tornado and burned that one chick. I was like,
Yo,
yeah.
okay.
one of the things I remember in the original series, and I can't remember if they did it in this live action or not, but the um the culmination of what happens to Jet,
Yes.
they do it in a very specific way in the animated series, where it's kind of just like, okay, he's,
He's
spoilers,
dead.
he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
He died, and this is a kid show where you're killing a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
But it's like they did it in a way where it was just like, okay, it's kind of just like, okay, we know he's gonna go, but we're gonna kind of like touch on it and then move on.
Yeah.
Which I thought for a kid show that they actually handled that very well. Yeah. But
Yeah.
did Jet? I can't. Jet didn't die in this, did
I
he?
don't remember exactly what
I
happened to
it's
Jet.
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
It's been a couple weeks, so I really don't remember.
but
I don't think he did,
but
but
again, Jet,
don't take
like
my
you get
word.
introduced to Jet in season 1 and he comes back again in season 2. So I don't know if they're going to do that, but at the same time it's like, how are you going to do that because you changed so much already? It was just like, all
They
right.
could still find their way to the Earth
Sure, let's
Gang and
see
the
what they do.
Daily.
I'm sure they're gonna fucking ruin Toph at this point. Like, it's gonna be annoying with her story, depending on how they do it and introduce her and stuff like that. But
No.
like, Boomy didn't even tell him to find an Earthbender that can fucking
Yeah.
wait and listen. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just like, how is he gonna look for like, yeah. I'm so
I
like, the
know.
more I
I
talk
know.
about this, the more upsetting it becomes.
I
But
know.
it's just the show was done so well, like the
Mhm.
way they moved the story along. And I understand they had like 20 episodes or 24 episodes per season. It was a much longer time to tell the story, but I
Mhm.
think you could have still done it in 8 hours, and like still had some of these like crucial moments that really moved the story along and paved the way for certain characters, like Boomy telling Aang, I can't be your earthbending teacher, but you need to find an earthbending teacher that waits and listens. And then, and when he gets to the swamp, he sees the visions and blah blah
Yep.
blah. And then, like, I just, with Roku's guidance, like, who's like, I don't even know who's gonna guide him in season 2. Is it gonna be Yang Chen? Like, I don't like I don't fucking know, bro. At this
We
point,
never got to see nothing of Yang Shen, so
at this
I don't
point,
want her. I don't want her to guide him, but I want to see her. I
the
want to see
second
more of
season
her.
might be all about Yang Chen. Like, I don't even
Whoa,
know.
she's the true last airbender. What
Yeah,
happened?
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. They some of these decisions, I really truly understand why these creators left. Like,
Starting to sound like The Witcher.
yeah, yeah. Henry Cavill was like, I'm out. This is not happening anymore.
No.
And that was after 3 seasons. Imagine these guys before even the first season came out. They were like, nope.
I feel like
Yeah,
they've been through so much shit though. They
yeah,
knew to kind of just nip it in the bud. Because
yeah.
remember, like when they were doing Korra, Nickelodeon was kind of doing them dirty.
They did. They
Nickelodeon
did
did him
do them
dirty when
dirty.
Korra was coming out, and people still came out and watched Korra. It's like,
Oh yeah.
because I remember it was like season 3. It was just like, yeah, so we're not going to even put this on TV anymore.
No,
And
it's
at
gonna
the
be
time, it
online.
was just like, what the fuck? We're going to watch a show online. That makes no
Yeah,
sense. And look at us now. But anyway, but yeah, but at that time, I was like, this is weird. And like, I remember their viewership dropped, but it was still like big enough.
yeah,
And yeah, and then Nickelodeon, which I think they changed their time slots a bunch of times when it was on TV as well.
yeah,
So it's like at that point, it's like, when the fuck is this show on? It's just like at this point, the creators are just like, fuck that. Like the moment we go in there, we see we're not down with something, we're dipping. Like we're out.
yeah. Good for them.
Yeah.
They created something magical, and they should do their vision. And I can't wait for 2025, where the old Friends movie comes out,
Mm.
and after that, when the new Avatar comes out. So it's gonna be phenomenal. I can't wait to see all that stuff. Um,
I'm just think of that movie, Eslam. Just the older team Avatar, you know?
I cannot fucking
Oh
wait, bro. I
man.
can't wait. Oof.
Disco, we did a lot of talking. I'm sorry, man. What do you think? As somebody who's not like as deep into the Avatar as us.
Honestly, I felt like for me personally, I felt like I don't know how it was in the animated series, but I felt like even Sokka and Katara just being friends with Aang kind of felt like fast. I felt like there was a lot more bonding experience, and this one was just like, oh, I felt like Katara was like, "That's the Avatar, we gotta help him," and then Sokka was just like, "Okay," and then that was it, boom, and
Yeah.
then
I
they
mean,
and he's like
in
fighting for Aang already and like doing they're like besties real quick. I don't know. I felt like there was a little more build up, but then again, like I said, I haven't seen it in a while, so
I got
um
you.
I mean, technically, in the first two episodes, they did leave with him right away. They, Katara saw that he was special and that this was their journey and stuff. But throughout the first season, there were moments where like they had like touchy moments where their loyalty and friendship was tested, and we didn't get to see any of that because there were no adventures. So they didn't
yeah,
really get to build that bond, like you
Mhm.
said,
I,
throughout the show. And I understand because they don't have as much time to tell the story as the animated show did. But at the same time, you're losing a lot of that magic between the characters. Um,
and I kind of felt that, and I felt like I guess you needed that little roller coaster. It made it feel more
Yeah.
real and legit,
yeah,
as opposed to this where it just I kind of felt like, oh, Katara said, and then so it's like, oh, well, let's go and get him.
like the
And
whole
not that it was terrible or anything, but I don't know. That's just something that kind of stuck out to me. And then um, I felt like the sister, the lightning, was that in the show? I don't know.
Azula's lightning.
well, we don't see Azula honestly till either I think the end of season 1 or the
Yeah.
beginning of season 2,
Yeah. That's
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
And we never see Ozai until season 3. Like we
Yeah.
don't see it. So
Oh wow,
they
yeah.
changed a lot of stuff. Ozai had a really big thing. Like, so as you were saying, like they even showed that Sokka did his like the ice dodging um ritual of becoming like a man in the Southern Water
Mm.
Tribe with his dad and like Bato, and as a flashback. Now I don't know if that was a vision or like a flashback or whatnot, but I was just like, come on, man, that's like a really big part of Sokka's like character development that you guys did in a flashback, and he did that with Ankatar and Bato, and that was like the beginning of showing like Sokka's true leadership skills and like strategic skills.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, Sokka's. You don't just downplay Sokka. Like he's actually
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
So that was like a big moment for him as a character. And then at the same time, you said something else I was gonna jump on to also.
Um, building of the friendship. I don't even remember what I just said. Um, Sokka.
I don't know. But yeah, so that was like a really big moment for Sokka's character, and for Azula, I guess the
Azula's lightning. You asked about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. So Azula's lightning, we don't really get to see lightning until the second season, and like it was
I
her.
mean, she had
Oh,
the
I
blue
remember.
fire.
Yeah, so she
That
always
was her
had the
thing.
blue fire, but we we barely got to see that, and then but the other thing was we see Ozai and one of the priests have that globe with like the asteroids and the celestial bodies,
Mm.
and then they're like, "Oh, Sozin's comet's coming." So they discover Sozin's comet's coming, and it's just like so. Without the library, the team Avatar doesn't know when Sozin's comet's coming, and they're not gonna know when the day of Black Sun or the day of No Sun is coming.
Yeah.
Like like there that invasion in the second season is very important. So it's just like, how are you gonna do that without the library? Like, what kind of bullshit are you gonna come up with to cover that storyline? Because again, that library was important for many, many reasons. Like Dan said before, Appa's kidnapping, finding out about Soza's comet, finding out about the Black Sun, and creating the invasion. They already showed the guy who created like the war balloons in the first season in Umashu, and he doesn't come until the second season when they go into what
And the
was it?
actor was the dude from Community. Like,
Yeah, Northern Air
yeah,
Oh
Temple.
yeah.
Oh,
A
apparently,
bed.
Rusty told me this. You guys remember Dexter, right?
yeah,
Obviously, you guys remember
Which one?
what is it? Suka, like the
Masuka.
Masuka.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Roku. like the pervert Masuka
No, I know
is
who Masuka is.
the
I
actor
I
who played
legit
Roku.
when I was watching the show, when they got to Roku, I at this point I remember I wasn't that paying that
Yeah.
much attention.
I didn't notice
That's
this.
crazy.
Rusty's the one that pointed out. They're like, "How are they gonna have the pervert from Dexter be fucking Avatar Roku?"
That's
And I was
amazing.
just like, "God damn it!" Like they screwed Roku on like multiple levels, man.
I'm looking this up too. I want to see this.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the show lost a lot of depth, like by
They
Oh
did
my
lose a lot
god,
of
condense,
depth.
that is
condensing it and missing out all these little interactions that seem minuscule, but they actually do help build the layers and like
Yeah,
add context and make it seem more realistic. Whereas this one, I felt like I guess you feel the 8 episodes. It's like, oh, we got a lot to cover, so let's do, 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 do. And then from what I'm hearing from you guys, they just changed fucking everything. So
they did
and
change a lot of stuff.
I
Yeah.
It
think
takes a lot.
Dan said Zuko. For me, Zuko like stole the show. I really cared about Zuko and Uncle Iroh. I think they were like the
Oh,
stars of the show.
thank you for bringing up Uncle Iroh.
Iroh.
One of the most important moments, the one that almost made me cry in season 2,
Mm-hmm.
they just fucking jumped
Mm-hmm.
over in a flashback in season 1, and that was like the moment that was one of the many
Yeah,
moments I was
yeah.
like, you guys fucked up hard.
That shit hurt.
Like Uncle Iroh's son's death and the reveal behind it in one of my favorite episodes in Avatar, when he sings that song and it fucking breaks your heart.
Just thinking
and
about it, man.
and they just showed him in the Fire Nation, and he's like fucking sitting there and people are paying their respects, and like Zuko comes up, and they did that to build like the bond between Zuko and Uncle Iroh and why Uncle Iroh loves Zuko so much. But man, that was such a like
That is something that you,
that's when men cried, bro.
bro.
That's when
That
men
thing,
shed tears.
like Disco. Are you familiar with the scene that we're talking about? It's basically it's Iroh Iroh kneeling at a tree. Just that. Does that sound familiar to? Okay,
No.
so it basically, Eslam,
Did it,
correct
you're
me
saying? Are you talking
in
about
in the in
the
the live
live action now?
in the
Oh
animated.
no, yeah, definitely not.
So Eslam, correct me on anything that I get wrong here, but basically, so we, as you know, Iroh, he was taking over Ba Sing Se. He had it forever. He got news that his son died. He pulled all those troops out of Ba Sing Se. It's like, fuck it, our part in this war is done. We're out. And then it's like in this episode, it's season 2, like Eslam said, and it's like a bunch of mini episodes. And this one,
Yeah.
you're just following Iroh and just a regular day. And during the day, he's buying some stuff for like his tea shop, I think. He meets
No, it
that
was
guy who,
for he was buying stuff for like
oh,
his
for the thing at
yeah,
the end.
yeah,
Yeah. But there's that. He runs into the guy who has the worst stance I've ever seen, who's trying to
yeah,
rob him. And it's just like so many things. And it's like you just go through a regular day with Iroh, and then you find out at the very end he has like this picture of his son who
yeah.
passed away. And this was like, I don't know if it was like the anniversary of his death or
It
something
was
along
the
those lines.
anniversary of his death. Yeah.
And then a song that he had sung earlier in the episode to a little boy
Brave
to make him.
Soldier Boy.
Yeah, it was the
I'm
Brave
getting
Soldier Boy.
goosebumps right now.
Exactly. He sings it himself, and you hear the actor's voice cracking. Now, the
Yeah.
story behind it is the actor himself.
Has
This was
passed away, right?
he had passed away, and this was a song. I think how was it? Did he perform the song right before he passed away, or
I don't remember, but it was like the song is like Brave Soldier Boy
yeah,
coming home or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah? But yeah, it's something along the lines of the actor who played him, whose name is Mako. He passed away, and then they had to get a new actor to be Iroh for the
Yeah.
animated series. But it's one of those things where it's just like it's such a powerful moment because you just see like Iroh, who's always cheerful, who's always like, "Hey Zuko, let's do this, let's do that," and you see this man's heart is just breaking
Yeah.
because his son died,
He
and
puts
he
like
still holds that with
he
him. And it's
puts his
just
son's picture at the
yeah,
base of the tree. He lights some incense, and he's kind of like paying his respects to his dead son's
yeah,
memory. And it's truly heartbreaking because you see the emotion in Iroh. He
yeah.
starts crying. He's singing
And you
the
hear the
song.
voice
Yeah.
like as he's crying. Oh man, it's yeah,
It sounds like it gives them so much death, and they just missed opportunity
Again.
to
yeah,
Yeah.
sing.
man.
Like, ah, man.
I just remember like after all that's done in the bottom, it's like in loving memory of Mako. I'm like, God damn.
Because Iroh's touted as the Dragon of the West, the guy who broke through Ba Sing Se's wall, all this stuff, but you don't know what happens actually till season 2 when you find out that the reason why he pulled back was because his son got killed during these battles,
Mhm.
and like he kind of just like gave up, and that's when that's because at that time Azulan was still alive,
And
and
so is
that's when
Zai's father.
that's when uh fuck, what's his Fire Lord,
Ozai.
Ozai was like, let me take over and
Yeah.
bypass Iroh's
Iroh.
birthright,
He's like, look at
because
him. He gave
he's
up
yeah,
the
he's the
Bossing say,
oldest
let
son,
me
yeah.
be the Fire Lord at this
Yeah.
point. And they grant it, but then there's more that goes into it, to the
Yeah,
planned
with
murder with
Zuko's
Zuko's
mom and
mom,
all this
and yeah,
shit,
there's
and
a lot that goes into
technically
it.
Ozai killed his own father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So,
banished his wife because of it.
yeah. It's wild shit, but like
Dude,
it's
it's a
so
good, it's so
fucking good.
good, man.
It's like the story so has a lot of depth, like you keep saying, Disco, but like all that depth gets lost in this live
Yeah.
action.
That's why I said, like, literally the first thing I said, it's okay. It's a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the heart.
No,
It's
it
just not
doesn't.
there.
It
It's
doesn't
not
have the
there.
heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So
100% correct. It doesn't
yeah.
have the depth. It doesn't have the heart. They changed a lot of things that I don't know how they're gonna rectify in season 2.
No.
And right
You know what
now
it
I'm
is, man?
worried.
You know what it is,
They
man?
should have
And
gave
it's
it to 20 episodes. I'd want to see it live action, but like verbatim, everything exact. Like I
you could
hate
just
this
watch the animated
condensed.
series.
I
Yeah.
hate this
I wouldn't have
condensed
done
20
it
episodes.
verbatim in live action, but like there's certain like there's I think like the process should have been like, what are the key moments that develop these characters the way we want them and lead them into the second season? And what are the things that we can truly cut out? Like, do I need to see Aang penguin sledding? Maybe not. But I can see him at Kyoshi Island trying to ride the Unagi. And then maybe I can skip other things, but I need to see Aang try to be a kid at the same time, try to rectify him becoming the Avatar and saving the world at 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be that contrast, and
Yeah.
I
This
don't
Aang is
see
just
it.
like, I'm not gonna be a kid, and I understand that now. Let's do it.
Oh,
I'm a
also, why
man.
the fuck was he flying?
When?
Like in his flashbacks with like Monkey Atso, like he was just like he was using his airbending and like floating everywhere, jumping real high, and I'm like it to me it looked like he was flying, and I'm like, well, are they trying to like pave the path for Zahir here or something? Like I'm like,
Hmm.
what the fuck is happening? And
No.
I'm just like, all right, whatever. He only did
But
the air sphere once, and I'm just like,
that probably costs a lot of money to make.
the guy with the foaming mouth wasn't there. I'm
No,
just like,
but a couple things.
oh,
The
the
cabbage,
cabbage guy.
the
Yeah,
cabbage guy was there.
yeah,
Also, I was really excited to see the hippies.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Secret
They,
tunnel. Yeah.
that wasn't bad. The
I
hippies
was
weren't
happy to
bad.
see. I was like, fuck yeah, we got the hippies. Let's go.
Did Sokka have two love interests in the anime series?
Oh,
Yeah,
Sokka's just getting girls. Like
yeah.
that's
Sokka
the
was
And
new
getting
his
girls
Sokka.
oh,
left and
okay,
right,
Sokka's
bro.
just
okay,
getting girls, bro.
Yeah,
okay, big pimpin'.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I love. I guess. Yeah.
Also, at the end, I felt like Sokka's ponytail. I always like Sokka because we have the same hair, but I felt at the end like his little ponytail like wrapped around his head, and it wasn't even a ponytail anymore. I was like, what happened to his ponytail? Maybe that's just me.
Time passed. I don't know.
I don't know.
How
Maybe
dare
they
he?
put too much gel in it. I have no idea.
One thing I want to mention is my theory as to why they're kind of putting stuff here in season 1 is they just renewed seasons 2 and 3.
Oh,
You get
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like if you look
So it
at a
was up
show
in the
like,
air.
yeah, so it's like let's get as much as we can in here now just to win them over. Because like Eslam, you mentioned earlier with Masuka, Dexter is a similar thing. Like if you read the first book and then watch the first show, it's pretty similar, but then they kind of like they change a lot of shit. Where it's just like, okay, well, it's like where do we go from here? Because you are changing a little bit. And then it's like, okay, and then it's like, don't you guys feel like in Dexter season 1 they did a little bit too much?
I don't remember Dexter season 1,
Ice
but
Truck Killer, it revealed to be his brother. Like
yeah,
that's the first season. Don't you
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
that's something that should kind of be maybe a
yeah.
little bit later?
They're
It's like
Yeah.
no
trying to
season.
catch you.
Yeah, it's like season 1. It's his brother who's trying to kill his sister, and this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh shit,
This sound like
this series just started. goddamn, where are we going from here? Like they went hard.
Well, yeah,
I
they
So I
see.
think
did.
that's
That's
something
true.
That
That's
does
very
make
true.
sense. They're trying to catch everybody like, oh, this is crazy best show.
Oh, but that's why I feel like
Interesting.
that's something that they were kind of maybe trying to do here. It's like, hey, we don't know if we got another season, so let's throw as much shit as we can now, and hopefully we get the renewal, and then we'll see from there.
That's very true.
I
That's
think
very true.
that might be what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I mean, like you said, I agree with your rating. I think it's a 3 out of 10.
I said
uh,
5, but okay, that's
well,
for abysmal.
3
three
out
out
of
of
10.
five. So
Three
that's
out
like
of
what?
10, it's like this shit is bad.
I feel like the more Eslam was talking about it, now it's a 3
It
out of
became
10.
a 3 out of
He
10.
was just shitting on it.
He started
I
off
was
with a 3 out of 5. That shit turned
I
to
was
3 out of
trying to
10.
find the good shit, bro. 3 out of 5 is what, like a 70, like a 75.
Yeah, about,
Yeah.
I would say.
It's in the 60 to 75 range.
All right, I'll give it like a 55, 60. I'll give it a 60, a
It's a
6 out of
it's a
10.
3 out of 5.
It's a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. I'm not mad at that.
Maybe a
I'm not mad at
5.5.
I'm not mad.
But
I'm trying to meet you somewhere. Stop changing it. I'm trying to meet you somewhere else now. God damn it.
all right, fine. 6 out of 10.
6
It
out of
was just very okay. Just,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, nothing spectacular. I think as far as like live action like reboots or boots, whatever you call it, crossovers.
10. It's a
I think it
boots.
was one of the better ones, but overall, like they did change a lot, and it does sound like they missed a lot too. And
Yeah.
it would be nice to see. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not even like a true fan, so I mean, I wish I would have saw like a better representation that would have made real fans like you guys happy. But overall, I think hopefully the next
I
season
mean, I
they
wasn't
they take the ball.
completely like disappointed or like upset at what they did. There's certain things, definitely moments that I'm just like, I think very important moments that could have been done a lot better. But overall, I think overall it's still, it was decent for a
Can you
live
name
action.
like three positive points really that really kind of like wowed you in the season?
So like I said, the Kyoshi Island episode was really good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed like parts of like uh the attack on the north. I think that was really well done visually. And third one. Um Ko. Ko the face sealer. I think they did decently with Ko and giving you a little bit more background on Avatar Kurik. But yeah, I think those would be the standouts. Yeah.
Okay. Dan, you feel the same, or how about you?
I mean, there was like I said, I liked the actor that played Zuko. I feel like he brought his A game compared
Yeah.
to just about everybody else.
Yeah,
Um,
Zuko's arc was like I think the most
yeah,
like that stayed true to
yeah.
the animated series.
But yeah, I thought Zuko was cool. Set design, I
Yeah.
liked it. I feel like that was done very well.
Hmm.
Basically everything appeared as it should. I thought they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I went in there not expecting it to be the greatest because it's like, I mean, not for nothing, Eslam and I and many others, we hold this shit at a very high esteem. To hit
100%.
that is not easy. I mean, they came as close as you probably could get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
So
8
it's like,
episodes, yeah. I
yeah,
think so.
that's what I'm saying. It's like at the end of the day, I don't think it's a bad show. It's not the best show, but they did what they could with what they could. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like it's
So
not like I'm gonna.
hats off to their efforts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the movie. But like somebody's like, "Yo, don't watch the movie." Like straight up, just don't do it. If it's like, "Hey, you're gonna watch the show," yeah, give it a shot. You might like it. Try it
Yeah.
out.
And if
I
you
would.
like it, go check out the animated series. You'll love it even more.
Well, I would honestly, I would switch
Start
that
off.
up a little bit. But like,
Like
hey, if
but
you want
some
to give it a
people
shot, if you have the opportunity, watch the animated series. Go,
yeah,
you
I
know,
would rather
yeah.
than watch the animated series, but some people just don't like watching cartoons.
Yes,
So it's just like if you are gonna if you if like if the choice is either I watch the live action or don't watch it at all, I'll go watch the live action show. You can watch the live action show and
Yeah,
enjoy
you
it.
kind of get through
And
it,
if you
but
do enjoy it, give the animated series a check
yeah.
out.
Happy birthday,
But
Henry! Just real
Happy
quick.
birthday, Henry. Yep.
And also, Rudy said, "Give me more." Made me watch One Piece live action, and I like that too.
speaking of the One Piece live action, Nadia and I are still watching the One Piece anime. We are at Water 7. We are very close to getting to the point where we can actually watch the live action now. So we have like two more arcs to get through. And she's so far she got really into Water 7 because that's when like all the government shit starts happening and all the secrecy and all that stuff. So this is when the story really starts picking up with all the mystery that keeps you like tied to it, like it's like hook, line, and sinker. And yeah, so we're almost done with that, so we can watch the live action. So I can't wait for her to see the live action, and for me to watch the live action too.
Rudy said, "Let's all give Nadia a hand for putting up with your old forgetful ass."
That is very true. She does put up with that shit a lot because I be forgetting all the time.
I'm
He's
gonna
like, "I just
yes,
told you."
but I'm gonna have to step in real quick. Rudy over here acting like he remembers shit all the time. This motherfucker doesn't remember a goddamn thing either. Like you would tell him anything, and he'll have a whole conversation. Yes, absolutely, whatever. Talks about a week, like I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This man doesn't pay
Yeah.
that. Like Eslam, you forget.
Yeah.
Rudy doesn't bother to try to remember. Like that's him. He's at the point where it's like you'll say some shit to him. It's like, yep, absolutely. You'll look you dead in the face. He's focused. Okay. Later on, don't know what the fuck he's Herman to Cali. Thank you. Herman to Cali. I'm never gonna let that shit go. You guys don't know what the fuck that is, do you?
Nope.
No.
Fun fact. So we were doing an episode of the podcast a long time ago, and Rudy was saying something. We were talking about something being hermetically sealed. I remember
Okay.
I was listening to him. He said Herberto Cali. I said, hang on, shut the fuck up. What did you just say to me? Are you trying to say hermetically? And the funny thing on top of this is years later, Rudy's already done it in the podcast. Disco, you're in there. We're having a discussion with Henry. Henry brings this up. We don't know what the fuck he's talking about. We're like, what? What are you trying to say? He goes back, finds the episode, and explains it to us.
Oh my
He
god.
tagged y'all on your own
That's
episode.
that's why Henry's the number one fan, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
Proud
real
of you,
Hermetic
though.
Henry.
Cali.
That's me. I'm a
God
hermit
damn.
in Cali.
Yeah, that is you, Hermit and Kelly.
Oh, for real.
All right, man. Well, that is our review of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. If you watched it, let us know what you guys think. If you haven't watched it, definitely give it a try. It's definitely worth the watch. Okay. Um, final thoughts. Let's jump into that. Dan, why don't you start?
This might be controversial, but if you were to start, like, let's say if you already seen Avatar, the animated series, you already know what's happening. If you start at book 2, that ain't a bad thing.
Like
You
you
could
just season one
skip
and start.
completely skip book 1. Book 2 is where shit starts going down.
Mm.
It's like literally, if I'm watching book 1, the way I look at it, it's like if you really want to watch some shit there, watch the first 1, maybe 2 episodes, see Kyoshi Island, meet Boomy,
Yeah.
go to the finale.
Yeah. True.
Like everything else in there is kind of just like it's cool, but like we don't really need it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you hit book 2, it's like all right, pay attention.
Yeah.
Shit's
Pretty
going
much.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's 100% true.
that's my final thought.
Disco.
um, I'm I like these live action shows, and I think it was fun to just kind of watch it on my own, and then come into the episode and just having y'all just give all the fun facts and all the ins and outs and all the stuff that I don't know. I enjoy that. So yeah, I appreciated this episode. It gave more insight and more more depth and all the stuff that I missed
Yeah.
or the show missed. And
Well, I hope it
I
gave
love
you
knowing
the
those little
interest to go watch.
nuances and ins and outs.
Yeah. I hope it
Probably
gave you.
not. Like I said at the
Yeah.
beginning, I like anti-heroes. I'm not down for little baby, bald-headed babies. I know you probably see yourself in him because you look like him. with a beard. But it's all good.
Well, Aang does get a beard later, so
Why'd you decide to just go real hard on Eslam? What?
I don't know. I
That
just
shit was
was talking about bald
unprovoked.
heads, and I looked over, and his was just looking at me.
That shit was unprovoked as hell. Like you went in there, it's like, yeah, I like live action. I like little babies. That's why you like it, because you see yourself in a little bald headed ass baby. Like, damn,
That was fucked up. My bad. My bad. I just was mad hard for no reason.
that
But
shit was
I mean,
intoxicating.
that's just one thing that I just don't like shows about kids. Like I have that.
yeah.
I never really got into Nickelodeon like that, except apparently Little Bear, which is Nick
The most
Jr.
kid of shows. Yeah.
Yo, for real. It's
They
very,
were
we're doing,
literally babies.
we're doing
I
our
started
best
off
rated
with
show. It's
like
like,
Blade and like Texas
yeah,
Chainsaw
I like
Massacre type
Lil
movies
Bear.
as a
I
kid.
like Franklin.
Yeah. Literally babies.
I remember we
They
were
were
talking
like,
about
I think
Face,
they were like 6,
and he
7 years
remembered who
old.
Face was from Nick Jr. I was
Yeah.
like, bro, why do you know?
Apparently, I watched Nick Jr. and then just jumped straight into like
Oh, man.
R-rated movies.
Yeah.
Also, fuck you, Rudy. I'm working my ass off. I'm in pain.
Yeah. Yeah, so my final thoughts is I'm tired. I went to Spain. It was a lot of fun. Ate some paella. It was fucking delicious. Um Went to see a lot of cool architecture. Um if you ever go to Spain, I highly recommend skipping Barcelona and just going straight to Granada, Seville, and more of the southern Spain, because they are just more relaxed. Like they're more chill. They have like that more of a siesta vibe than Barcelona. Everything kind of closes down in the afternoon. You get to chill for a little bit, and then it reopens up at night. Go out for dinner or whatever. And yeah, it was just so much cleaner, more relaxed. The people were better, like nicer and stuff.
People are just better.
Less loud. Like people were just fucking loud in Barcelona for no reason. I'm
Did
already in
the,
the
did the
island of
language
Ramadan, Rudy.
barrier did the language barrier affect you at all, or
No, not really. A lot of people know how to speak English, and
oh nice.
I knew a little bit of Spanish, so I got um
He said, "Me llamo Batman."
um you
Oh,
got it
see,
without
see.
pork. Uh, paella doesn't is a seafood dish, Henry. It's not made with pork.
So apparently you can have other types of paella. Apparently, I found
Yeah,
this out when I went to
they did
visit.
have chicken paella there
Yeah,
too.
yeah, but that threw me off. It's like when I think paella, I'm thinking seafood, like
Yeah,
traditional paella.
that's the original. That's the
Yeah,
most famous one.
that's the
That's
best
the
one.
one we had. We didn't
That's
even
the best
try
one.
any other paella. It was
Bro, got
fantastic.
a
There's a
custom
lot of
paella
fucking
with pork.
like. Listen, bro. Speaking of the pork, there's at least 3 or 4 hamon like butchers on every street.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. Like, and
They
it's like that.
love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's so weird.
that's what I. That's what I was like. I was telling Nadia. I was like, hamon. That's like JoJo, and she didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But it's that like that hamon where it's like it's I don't know how to describe it. It's like dry aged or whatever, and they slightly thin it. Like it's
Mm.
just like the leg of the pig
Yeah,
that's like dry aged or whatever, and
yeah, it
then
is.
but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Highly recommend it if you want to go. It's a very chill vibe.
I just
Yeah,
want paella. Like I would
yeah.
legit get off the plane, eat paella. I was like,
Well, if
I
you're
did
gonna eat
Spain. There's
paella, that's
nothing for me.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
They don't have, at least in Granada, they don't have like paella there. It's not one of their dishes that they do, because Barcelona's right on the beach on the water.
Mm.
Um, Granada's a little bit more inland.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, I don't care where it is. I mean, I'll go down the street, get some paella. Say I went to Spain. Like at this
yeah,
point, like I'm just trying to get some paella.
paella is so good, bro. It's
Yeah.
so good. All right. Thank you for listening to Little Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you hear, follow us on social media, like, subscribe, share, rate, review. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, check out our website. Thank you for listening. Have a great week.